The opening game, obviously, a lot of the excitement there is due to the brands that both teams have established over the last 6 months. Just from afar, your view on Colorado and kind of what they've built and kind of creating that excitement, has that impressed you?
Listen, they know brand. I'm a brand guy. I think they've done an incredible job. If you look at kind of how they're elevating and amplifying their brand, engaging with their fans, they've done a wonderful job. So I wish them well.
Talk about your first experience, not first experience, but more experience on the college football side than you had, obviously. What surprised you most about that role, stepping into the first year, as it relates to football?
Yeah, growing up in the Northeast, I didn't have a lot of exposure to college football. So taking this job really immersed me into college football, generally speaking, and I love the pageantry, the rivalries, the energy around it, and especially in our markets where, in many respects, they are the only team. They're not in New York where you have to share a voice issue, as an example. So, you go to a Saturday game, it's a big event. It's the big event business. So I really got drawn to that, and then as I mentioned in my comments, going to the Fiesta Bowl this year was just incredible, for all the right reasons, and again, sharing it with my kids was off the charts. So I look forward to season number 2.
Commissioner, you mentioned that your relationship with Lawrence Gubinek. How has he really been someone that you've been really relying on without your
I've leaned on Lawrence a lot. Beyond just him being the chair, he's become a dear friend, a friend for life, in fact. And we have a lot of chemistry, and I'm excited to maintain and grow my relationship with Lawrence. Obviously, he's a member of the board, so I'll be seeing him quite often, but leaned on him a lot.
Brett, on NIL, there's obviously different state laws. You want uniformity at a federal level. Do you kind of look at the different state laws as almost, I don't know if the threat's the right word, but to the competitive level of each team, knowing they're in different states and different state laws?
No, listen, as far as I'm concerned, schools have to adhere to NCAA rules. Hopefully with some type of federal legislation, there'll be federal preemption of state laws, so there is that uniformity, and that's what we're hoping for.
Brett, when you do look at the potential of college football expansion versus the conference, for you to be able to be one of the only Power 5 units that could have representation in all 4 time zones, what would that mean for the branding of the Big 12?
I'm sorry, repeat the question again.
Potentially, if there ever was to be expansion in the Big 12 to have representation in all 4 time zones, what would that mean, especially when you look at the major Power 5 schools?
I mean, listen, we're the only conference that are in 3, and if we went to 4, obviously it makes us a little bit more national, and from that regard, we offer different windows to our TV partners, different windows that we can afford them today. So I guess it would be a positive if there was the right fit.
Texas and Oklahoma have obviously carried recruiting for a while in this conference. What challenges and opportunities do you see for everybody else in this conference when it comes to recruiting?
I'm not sure they've carried recruiting. They haven't been in the championship game here for a couple of years now, and all the other schools have done an incredible job, so I'm not sure they've been carrying recruiting for this conference. I mean, I love Texas and Oklahoma, don't get me wrong, and like I said before, I got great relationships with them, but our schools are doing an incredible job in recruitment. Look at TCU's run last year. 80% of our teams made the bowl games last year, so everyone's in a great place.
Brett, who would you say the top brands are? And Texas OU, obviously big national brand. Is it kind of hard to pinpoint? It's a great basketball league. Nobody questions that. Who would you say the top 2 brands are?
I'd say, listen, we've got a great collection of brands, and all of them bring something different to the conference. When you think about value. But I love all of our brands, and being with ESPN and Fox affords us the opportunity to grow all of them on a holistic basis. So, again, there's not one in particular. I think they're all great.
To piggyback off of Chris's question here about recruiting, those 2 teams haven't been in the Big 12 championship last year, but they have signed the majority of the top 100 5-star caliber type prospects in this conference. I was wondering, how important is it to maintain that same kind of confidence that you just illustrated there for the remaining teams? And
I think they have. I think they have the confidence. I think they come here today and tomorrow thinking they've got a chance to win a championship and return to AT&T Stadium. So maybe I'm naive to it, but candidly, I think all of them are doing a great job, and all of them feel on day one they got a chance to win a championship in the Big 12.
Hey guys, 2 more questions.
There's lots of balance.
Brent, when it comes to Rucker Park, is there still a hope for an exhibition game in 2024?
Well, I think we'll do some type of exhibition game, but I think it can be more of an alumni game. The NCAA has put those summer exhibitions on pause, as you know, so I think we'll be looking at an alumni game. But yeah, we want to continue to activate Rucker Park. It's a historic playground, and we need to be in that market.
Last question.
Brett, do you see any timeline on expenditure? You want that resolution in the next few weeks?
I mean, listen, from my perspective, I've dealt with it for a whole year. So sooner or later, it'd be nice to just kind of push it aside and just focus on the things that are most important. But, you know, I guess there's no timeline specifically.
You've talked about the strengths of this league. What are the things that you still think this league needs to improve?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm happy but not satisfied. I think when you look at a conference across the board, we can get better at everything we're doing. But there's so much upside, possibility, and opportunity for us. So there's not one thing in particular. I just think in general we can get better at everything we're doing, and that's the goal.
You talked about gambling very early. Have you thought about 10 years ago? It was a big deal to the discussion about coaches giving participation lists on 48 hours before games, so that which would stop gamblers from paying money to managers or something to say who's available, who's not. What are your thoughts on that? The NFL does it.
Yeah, I haven't really thought much about it, to be honest with you. That hasn't been a part of our discussions internally, but obviously something we can vet out, but haven't really focused on that.
Hey Brett, would you be interested in the CFP director's job?
No. I love this job. I said recently it's the most fun I've ever had professionally. Love where the conference is going, and every commissioner's job is different because every conference is in a different place. This is the perfect place for me, and I hope to be here a long time.
What do you feel that job needs, replacing Bill moving forward?
Listen, Bill has got his fingerprints on this thing. I mean, the job he did, it was fantastic, and Bill and the committee will make a decision on who to pass the baton to. I think Bill will always be a fixture, and he should be. Someone they can lean on. No different than Bob Bowlesby is for me. So I haven't really thought about what's needed. But obviously, Bill has grown this thing tremendously. And, I think about Bill just passing the baton, but he'll always be there, no different than Bob Bowlesby.